UFC action this weekend.
No,
What a knockout. We talk about knockout of the year with Burchell versus Valdez. Where does this rank up in knockout of the year? We got Curtis Blaydes versus Derrick the Black Beast Lewis.
Derrick the Black Guy fucking my mom Lewis. I thought so in terms of like concussive effect, that was a lot of knockout, right? That was actually a little bit, honestly, man, and they happen pretty close to each other. The Curtis Blaydes getting knocked out and Miguel Burchell getting knocked out was kind of a 1-2 punch of like, that's a little too much. You know, I really was not the biggest fan of either. But Derrick Lewis, he threw that giant bus driver uppercut, you know, just really brought it. He looked like Dave Chappelle in the Bia sketch. And just fucking like lifted him off his goddamn, lifted his soul out of his body with that uppercut. I felt for Curtis Blaydes, man. I thought he was being the way superior fighter. You know, he looked great. There was nothing else I would have changed. He just got hit with an uppercut that heavyweight sucks. Heavyweight sucks. Like the better guy will just straight up lose, like at least 30% of the time. You know what I mean?
Like when you become really good at video games and then you let your little brother play and he's just smashing buttons and he still beats you.
Yes, exactly. There's no like, yeah, I'll do that in like UFC video games where it's like you're literally just throwing head kicks. That is not what Georges St. Pierre does. All right, do this fight like how the guy would. You know what I mean?
It's way better boxer. I mean, way better wrestler, way better MMA fighter.
I mean, he was boxing way better. If we want to call him the better boxer, I'm not going to outright disagree with that.
But man, the power of Derrick Lewis, the Deontay Wilder of UFC.
Deontay is exactly how I feel with Deontay, except it's almost even more frustrating because there's like even more weapons that he's not using.
Yeah.
And I know, you know, okay, he's got, I feel like my camera's going in and out of focus nonstop. I feel like Derrick has tools that he shows. He has some decent kicks. He has abilities that he doesn't bust out every fight. I don't think he was busting them out at all in this fight. It's just a fucking frustrating thing to watch sometimes. I love the guy. I really love the guy. I really, like, on a personal level, I think he's a funny guy. I think he's a really nice guy. I think he's a really generous guy. I think the story of him beating the shit out of 3 members of the Ku Klux Klan is really cool. And I wish more fighters did shit like that. I'm sure many more would if they came across it. But man, it just, you know, I came away from that fight, honestly, feeling rough for Curtis Blaydes that he got knocked out so bad in a fight where he was doing so well. That was my takeaway. That's what I felt.
He now becomes what, the number 1 contender? He's the next guy, right? So it's Stipe versus Ngannou. The winner of that gets John Jones. Does he sit out? Because he's obviously the next in line for the winner of John Jones and the winner of the next UFC heavyweight fight.
So it depends. Could they have him sit on the sideline and have him do that? Yes. If they wanted to put the promotional dollars behind it, certainly they could. If they want to kind of keep the machine gears rolling and even potentially welcome a new heavyweight to these top rankings, they'll pair him with Cyril Gane after Cyril Gane beats the shit out of Rosenstruck this weekend.
Ooh, you talked about this being a bad division. You talked about this, you know, about the new blood coming in. We had some new blood on the undercard that they promoted. It was veteran versus new guy. You want to talk about those 2 fights?
I'd love to, and I actually predicted both of these finishes, which I was happy about. I should have bet some money on it. I would have won something. But no, my dumbass, I would have parlayed it with Blaydes, so who gives a shit? Chris Daukaus, Philadelphia native, good hands, good speed, good combinations. Puts out Alexei Oleinik, his 3rd straight stoppage in the UFC. I believe all in the first round. And then Tom Aspinall submits Andrei Arlovski after hurting him in the first round. I thought his was ultimately even more impressive, to be honest. Both guys, Aspinall and Daukaus, Aspinall being the Brit, they are young, they're hungry, they are top 15 to top 20 already. And these are the kind of guys who can finally, I feel like, start to help push out some of these older generations. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Whereas some of these older cats, like, I don't know, I don't want to put Arlovski out there, but he did just lose to one of them. Arlovski, or maybe like an Overeem, or just somebody who's on that older side, is now saying like, man, fuck, look how good the young cats are.
I mean,
That's what fucks with you.
Let's be honest. They're in their 40s.
Yeah, they're half
These
their
20-year-olds
age.
coming in, and these 40-year-olds. That's a huge age gap.
It's an enormous age gap. Both guys looked amazing. Doc has put out Olenek. Aspinall subbed Arlovsky. We didn't know he had that kind of grappling, and I was wondering if he got it to the ground, is that going to be a big liability? Still haven't seen him on his back, so we still don't like really, there's still some unanswered questions.